Be sure to pick up your limited edition St. Louis Rampardos t-shirts today. Available as V-neck, a number of different colors, and male and female. Check them out in the description below. Good evening, YouTube. My name is Dan, and I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos. The St. Louis Rampardos have entered Week 13 at an impressive 11-1 record atop in the UCL so far, and we are in the first place of the entire league, and we've done really, really well. Last week we took on the Tulsa Talon Flames. We were able to come out with a nice W despite a little bit of hacks that actually went in our favor. We were able to come out with a pretty honorable victory over Kristen, so props to her, of course. But our sights are now set on the Grand Canyon Greninjas, and hi, I'm Twit, one of my good pals from the YouTube scene and Twitch community. Really good content maker in his own right. Struggled a little bit so far on the UCL though, but I have a lot of respect for him, and he has an amazing team featuring a lot of different Pokemon, including Rotom Wash, Altaria. He's got Alakazam and Nidoking as well, not to mention some big threats in the lower tiers, kind of like Escavalier. He's got an Ursaring, Bufalon, Cofagrigus, and some really good defoggers, Mandibuzz and Empoleon. Emboar packs quite a bit of punch as well. He could be bringing a Choice Scarf Emboar. And truthfully, I did my team preparation quite a while ago compared to this pregame press conference, but I do feel like we have a pretty good matchup this week, so I'm going to do my best to run through the teams and talk a little bit why I'm doing each set and why I made the Pokemon I'm bringing, and hopefully we'll be able to come out with yet another victory to move ourselves and solidify ourselves further as the first place team in the UCL as the playoffs continue to approach. So, without further ado, let's jump right into our team. Our team captain leading the league in kills is, of course, Mega Metagross, and why wouldn't we bring Mega Metagross? We are bringing Gross again, and this week, because of Twit's slow team, we're able to bring an Adamant Nature Gross, rocking Bullet Punch, Zen Headbutt, Meteor Mash, and Earthquake as well. So obviously, the Bullet Punch is going to be there for Altaria, so is Meteor Mash. I've got things like Earthquake, which are going to hit that Nidoking and the Empoleon pretty hard. It's also going to do a lot of damage to just general Pokemon, Emboar, so on and so forth. Zen Headbutt's there as well to get extra damage on things like the Rotom if he switches in. Depending on his spread, I might actually 2-hit KO the Rotom, so that's another option as well. So I really look for this Mega Metagross to do a lot of damage. Because I don't have to fully invest in speed, I just have to make sure I outspeed Rotom Wash if it's not Scarfed. I actually have a good amount of HP investment, about 80 HP EVs as well, not to mention full attack like I mentioned before. We're running that Adamant Nature, so I really look for aDrive to put in a lot of work. This is definitely one of those matches where we save aDrive until I think the right moment is there, and we hit that button, that red button, which means aDrive comes out and puts in the work, as it's done all season long. Now, our next Pokemon, I look to actually do quite a bit of work this week as well, and I need it to do work because it's very, very important to the mold of our team this week. That's going to be our Raikou Sabertooth, which is one of our first picks of overall in the OU tier. And unfortunately, it hadn't done too much so far up to this point this season, but hopefully, as our new addition to the St. Louis Rampardos, our puppy, has started barking, which is fine. Luckily, my lovely fiance and partner, the Rampardos, has got it under control. But Raikou is rocking Assault Vest this week, bringing the Modest Nature. Again, I have an ability to run a lot of offensive natures this week. I don't have to run Timid, I don't have to run Jolly. I can run Modest because all I need to do is outspeed that base 86, which is his Rotom. That's one of the big things about Twit's team that I think has caused him. He's got a very good team, but I think one of the reasons why he hasn't done that well from a record standpoint is his team isn't very fast. So what ends up happening is faster sweepers are able to come out and put in a lot of work against him, a lot of pressure. And I think Raikou is the Pokemon this week that can do just that. We're running Modest Nature with a good amount of speed investment to outspeed that Rotom. We also have full special attack investment, not to mention we actually have 126 EVs in our special defense, which of course gets boosted even further by the Assault Vest. So we're rocking Volt Switch and Thunderbolt, both electric type stabs. We've got extra sensory, of course, on that Nidoking switching, and HP Ice, which will hit that Mega Altaria. That's the only thing we really have for coverage for Altaria, and it does, about 120. Actually, Thunderbolt would be better if it's not Mega. If it's Mega, then HP Ice is the better play, because obviously Dragon resists Electric, whereas Flying and Dragon together, that's a neutrality, so we're good. Our next Pokemon is our Choice Scarf. Hail Miguel, Hail Hydra. Hydreigon. Now, Hydreigon is running that Scarf again, and as I mentioned, just needs enough speed to outspeed that Rotom Wash, of course, with a timid nature, so I will outspeed every form of Rotom Wash. I got the U-turn for Momentum Flash Cannon, so I can't be set up fodder with the Altaria, Fire Blast for Escavalier, and Dark Pulse, which is our main stab and main move. Decided to go with Fire Blast instead of Draco. I felt like the Fire Blast is very useful for me because I do want to have an extra check for that Escavalier. I think it actually has a good matchup against my team, Escavalier does. So that was my logic there with that Hydreigon set. The next Pokemon in the running for defensive MVP, in my opinion, might not be, you know, a full-on, you know, win there, but I do think Vaporeon, which is our next Pokemon, of course, deserves some recognition. It's held it down the entire season from a defensive standpoint, and actually from an offensive standpoint as well, picking up quite a few kills. I think it's actually second or third on my team in kills at this point. Carrying Scald and Ice Beam, of course. Scald is for just burn and general stab. Ice Beam, of course, is going to hit that Altaria super effective. I obviously could take hits. I'm actually running fully physically defensive, a good amount of defensive investment, a little bit of special defense investment just to make sure I can take hits from both sides. Wish and Protect this week. No Heal Bell. Taking my chances with that. The Protect is there to just kind of protect stall, allows me to double, take some hits. I can kind of get some leftovers recovery, also get that Wish off safely if I need to, and it gives us a little bit of time to kind of scout some sets. I think Altaria is not set up, Vaporeon's not set up fodder, which is nice, and I want to be able to come in on that Rotom Wash and be able to heal up if I need to. That's what the Protect is really for that Rotom Wash. Conkeldurr is going to be our next and our 5th Pokemon this week. Done quite a bit of work this season. You know, it's been mixed results, but it's done what it's needed to do, with Mega Metagross taking the stage for the most part. Adamant Nature this week, same pretty much set as we always run. Max attack, max special defense, throwing that Assault Vest on there to boost that even further. Drain Punch, Knockoff, Ice Punch, and Fire Punch, of course, for the Escavalier, Ice Punch for the Altaria, Drain Punch for everything else, Knockoff hits the Alakazam. I think we're pretty good. I know I can take hits. I got a lot of special bulk, and I'm feeling pretty good with this Conkeldurr. I think it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be hard for him to switch into. Obviously, a Drain Punch hits really hard. Of course, Guts Boost as well, to take that Will-O-Wisp from that Rotom if he wants to spam it, and that Assault Vest is gonna help us out otherwise. Now, our last Pokemon is a little bit interesting, a little bit of a tweak here. I decided not to run Stealth Rocks this week because he has so many Defoggers on his team. I don't want to waste my time. I'm actually bringing Crobat this week with Infiltrator. I got the Rocky Helmet on there as well, so I can switch into things like that Altaria if he wants to go for a return. Obviously, I do resist it if it's Pixelate boosted. We've got Poison Fang this week, which is a little bit weird. It's kind of a weaker Poison type move. Not as good as something like X-Scissor, but it does have a 50% chance to inflict Toxic Poison on your opponent. So while that might seem kind of weird that I'm running Toxic or Poison Fang, I just felt like it's kind of cool utility. It helps me with things like Mandibuzz. You know, Mandibuzz is otherwise pretty tough to take down, so if I can get a Toxic Poison off with a Poison Fang, maybe catch the Rotom on the switch in. That could actually be pretty useful. I got the U-turn there from Momentum, of course. I get to run, you know, I'm running Jolly with a lot of bulk. I have 248 HP EVs. I got 76 defense EVs, a little bit of speed. No attack investment. This is not an offensive Crobat. I'm actually carrying Taunt as well for that Mandibuzz, so he can't Roost stall me. Otherwise, Mandibuzz is kind of tough if I don't have Raikou. And then Roost is there just to give me a little bit of reliable recovery. So, Twit has a very, very good team, as I mentioned at the start of this press conference. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. A little bit worried about it. He's got a lot of threats. Altaria, in my opinion, one of the top 3 megas in this kind of format. I think Altaria can do a lot of work. This thing is amazing. It can be specially offensive, physically offensive, Cotton Guard, defensive, Dragon Dance. It gets a lot of different options. Very bulky, nice base stat distribution. Really good Pokemon. Little slow though. Rotom Wash, obviously one of the best physically defensive walls, carrying Will-O-Wisp. It's got enough momentum with Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, obviously pretty good stab. Pain Split, can do a lot of different things. I'm actually a little bit worried about Nidoking as well. Scarf Nidoking, lose a little bit of power from that Life Orb that it so desperately needs, but nevertheless, Nidoking is still a pretty big threat, so we do need to keep an eye on that. Some other things, as I mentioned earlier, you know, things like Alakazam, you know, Magic Guard, Alakazam. I do have Bullet Punch. I know Metagross can take hits from Alakazam. I know I have Conk, which can live as a Psychic. Maybe not so much a Psyshock though, if it's a kind of a Life Orb Magic Guard set or something. You know, but Raikou can probably take a hit as well. You know, I do have Vaporeon if need be. That Alakazam could be a bit of a problem, so I do need to keep an eye on that and really try to put some pressure on with Bullet Punch. I know Bullet Punch is going to do a tremendous amount to that thing. It's like a plastic bag, so we should be able to put some good work in there. And you know, I mentioned some of the other Pokemon. Ursaring Hariyama is also a problem. Typically, you know, obviously that Crobat could be a threat. He might be worried about the Crobat and things like that. So we'll have to see what's going on. I think it's gonna be a really good matchup. I'm definitely not taking this for granted, guys. Twit's record of 2 and whatever it is, 2 and 9 or something like that, 2 and 10. That is not a representation of his team. He's got a very, very good team, guys. So we're gonna do our best jumping into this matchup, and hopefully we'll be able to come out with a W. So Anyway, just a last reminder, if you haven't picked up your St. Louis Rampardos shirt yet, definitely do that. The limited edition shirts are going to be gone probably by the time this weekend's up. I think there's only a few days left on that, so make sure you grab them to support the #1 team in the UCL. And I have good news, the GBA is coming up very, very soon, guys. So I'm going to be drafting for the GBA very soon, and we're going to get a brand new team, brand new opportunities, and a whole lot of fun. So the St. Louis Rampardos will continue our journey, head smashing our opponents, and hopefully continuing our dominance in first place of the UCL. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos. I'm gonna get the heck out of here. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.